What's good, internet? Welcome to the very last episode of the season, yo.
Finale.
Finale.
I feel like I'm doing the ad-libs. Finale,
We ended it appropriately.
Dude.
With the superstar. I know I say this like every week, but like... Superstar, baby.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh,
These bars.
okay.
These songs. Fire tracks.
Okay, here's the ad-libs.
Rapper, singer, poet, iindirhe here.
And entertainer. We need a crowd.
What's up, yo? Thank
What's
you
good?
for putting through, or rather letting us pull through.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad it's finally happening. You know how it is to get creatives together. It's so hard.
It is,
like,
yeah.
But I'm glad we're doing it. I'm glad we're doing
We're
it.
here. And we're doing this.
Yo, where do you even start?
Yeah, dude, let me give you the first cue, then I'll take it after you. Let me give you the first cue. You go ahead.
I want new music. I've started. 2017 you dropped. Is it 17? Yeah.
Yes.
Glitter EP.
Yes.
Fucking dope.
No, it was 2017.
Like legit one of the best EPs ever. I always tell you this.
Thank you so much.
So it's not scripted
Lady,
internet? It's not
Prom
scripted?
Queen, what is it? Latina
Latina
Party, Lady Late Night. Those are like my jams.
I'm glad you enjoy them. Thank you very much.
So when can niggas get new music, yo? Man, I'm just gonna come out and say that, 'cause I'm hungry for new music.
Wow, I've never gotten this question at the beginning of a show.
No.
So thanks for the curveball, firstly. But guys, you have to also understand, I'm an artist and I have a process. Also, I dropped the Glitter Deluxe shortly after I dropped the Glitter EP, so y'all better recognize and enjoy that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that, like, with music being the focal point of my being, it's a process to create, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that I'm an independent artist, I work so hard to be in a good space to create the music and also be in a good space to put it out. You know what I mean? So I am working on, expect new music in spring, okay?
Okay.
How's about that?
It's like 2 months from now.
Yeah. Expect music in spring, but I am currently working on another compilation.
Okay.
Oof, guys, I don't know if I should tell y'all the name yet. No, Ray, you're not doing it today, okay?
Yeah.
But I am working on something, and it's very close to my heart because it's a space of introspection. I've also grown a lot as a human being since Glitter. I've grown as a writer. I've grown as a lover, as a person, and in Glitter, there's a side of me that I express and that you enjoy. For instance, with Latino Papi and Lady Late Nights and Prom Queen, it's feminine energy. It's got a lot to do with love. You know what I mean? But I feel like in the next project, expect dealing with growing out of a love that you feel that you don't deserve, growing as a person internally, the things that you think about, the things that you question, self-worth. Expect that. Expect shots. I'm gonna be firing some shots at some people too. Expect hip-hop, expect honesty, also expect like a very, very godly sound. That's the best I can do for you right now.
But you get new music, but it's like an explanation.
Yeah, we got a new hint.
I'll take that for now.
Yeah, speaking of you having music as your focal of your being, so at what point, because this is a regular, maybe a standard question that in interviews do happen, so for you, at what point where did you recognize that music is where your heart lies? Because a lot of people maybe take time and discover that maybe when they're in their 20s, late 20s and 30s, that music was a niche in the beginning. So for you, how did that become so, and when did you realize that music is where your heart is?
Yo, guys, I don't know why, like, you asked it in such a deep way. I get this question a lot. Whoa. So music has been a part of my life for a very, very, very long time. You know what I mean? My mom loved music. My grandfather was a musician. My mom sang in the choir. My dad loved hip hop. So I found myself relating to the musical space at such an early age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think by the time I was in grade 3, like my brother pointed out, like, you can sing. And I was like,
You recognized.
I was like, I can sing.
Yeah.
So it was crazy that someone like would affirm it outside of myself, something that I probably already knew. And fast forward to when I realized that music was what I really wanted to do. I was 16. I'd always expressed myself in this. I felt comfortable expressing myself in the space of music for a very long time. I wrote my first rap when I was 11. And then when fast forward to high school, my friend would always send me beats like, girl, like you got this. Like, you know, my friend Irene would like download beats for me to write on, you know what I mean? So I always found myself expressing myself in that space. But I think then it was still a hobby. But I think when I was 16, when I stepped into the booth, and it was actually at ASC. So my brother had some friends who were studying there, and they were like, yo, we need a female artist. And I was like, my brother's like, I know somebody. I know somebody. You know what I mean? And me being in that space, I realized I could actually leave school for this. Like, I'm really ready. You know what I mean? My parents didn't allow me to, obviously, like finish school. You know, school is always like the thing. And thank you guys. I do appreciate it because I got an education. But I wanted to do it then, but I couldn't do it fully. You know what I mean? So I think from the age 16, I was like, yeah, this is the thing. Like,
this is my life.
I want this to be my life. I chose to make it my life. 3 years to start making it my life. 3 years later, when I started going to studio to record, like crazy enough, one of the producers who I met then, hit me up, and I was writing music. So I was in my gap year, and I was just writing in my head, you know, without beats, or going online to find like free beats and writing. And then he hits me up on Twitter. His name is Shine. He hits me up on Twitter like, yo, you still make music? I'm like, I still make music. And then he's like, well, I got some beats. Like, do you want to hop on to some? The studio set up at my place. I was like, yeah, sure. And like the rest is kind of history.
Now you're here. Out here releasing hits.
Thanks.
So from when at that point when you realize, okay, music is the thing for you. So because I feel like in most times as a person who's still growing, there's always influences, right? And for indie, who's that influence? Who's like allowed you to open up? Because at some point, I also wanted to be a rapper, if you don't know. So I had the influence from Eminem. That's where I was like, this guy's good. Actually, I want to be like this guy. So for you, who was that? I don't want to say role model. I just want to say influencer, because at this point you can be a role model yourself. Like even other cats out there, they're like, oh, they were like, oh, she can sing.
You know, also to be a rapper if you see calling people cats.
and now in the space that you're in, looking back, who's that person who influenced you? Is there any shape shift in your music taste from then to now?
Yeah. I feel like you also asked this in a deep way, but anyway. My first memorable influence, where I was like, I wanna like emulate this person, was Missy Elliott.
Is it worth it?
Missy be the name, y'all should already know. I've been around town. Anyway, I think Missy Elliott was the first person I attempted to like emulate. Like, okay, put the words there. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. Exactly. But then I can also acknowledge how, in terms of, so I listened to Lauryn Hill when I was younger, and I listened to Lauryn Hill when I was older. And there's a very different, like in terms of representation, she was important, but when you need to have a certain ear to understand someone. So I think Lauryn Hill began to influence me a little later in my teen years. So I always knew about her, but when I picked up my dad's like CD pack and played her, I realized that she was articulating something so huge, in miseducation.
Yeah.
So for me, she's been a big influence. SZA, like, whoa.
Yeah.
I love SZA. Like, I think in her earlier projects, her honesty, you know what I mean? I think for me, when I listen to her now, I feel like she was going through like a purging of whatever through the music she was creating. And I think that opened me up. So in terms of writing as a singer, so I always used to write as a rapper. Like, I didn't have a choice. That's the first frame of reference of writing that I got. I was very afraid to, like, I don't know what it was. I struggled to hear my own words in song. So I think SZA was a very, 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 in terms of, especially when around the time I started recording, you know what I mean? She made me believe and understand, like, learn to just write my voice down, like, write your thoughts voice in your thoughts down in your singing voice. And so she was a major influence for me, but I have so many guys, like,
it's just the highlight for now.
And in terms of, like, I think I don't know if brand or boldness is the word to use. I think Brenda Fassie is also someone that, like, genuinely stood out throughout my life as someone who was so bold. Like, you know what I mean? Bold to the point where, like, even my parents would judge her. You know what I mean? And you never understand it till you're, like, much older. But her boldness,
she owned who she was.
She was big facts. Big facts.
Yeah. Man, that's cool. I know iindirhe. Jaya is the homie.
Shout out Jaya.
Hey, Will.
Yeah.
He's also a friend of the podcast. We've had him on. Any new work between you guys? I know you just released something a couple of months ago.
Any projects you're working on?
Is there like a longer project between you guys? Maybe a collaborative EP coming? Because Quarantine was dope.
Yeah.
Quarantine was amazing. Shout out to Jar for that opportunity. Jara and I are in talks of project or another single.
TFS. No Limit Podcast. iindirhe featuring Jaya. Entire mixtape.
I never said that. What?
Things into perspective. We're putting things into perspective. Obviously,
we're filling in the missing words.
Filling the gaps, connecting the dots.
Wow. Okay.
Go on.
All I can say is Golden Girls. That's the theme. Golden Girls.
Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Gold, bro. Not just cold, gold.
Gold. Jara's an amazing artist to work with, though. He's got amazing ideas. He's got an amazing mind. He's got drive. That person has drive, and wow, like it's been an honor, really. Quarantine was just an amazing adventure for me, and I am looking forward to more adventures with him.
How did Quarantine come about?
Okay, so Jai was going to Switzerland, so he had a tour in Switzerland. Shout out!
Boy.
So he was like, listen, I'm going to perform there, but I also want to give life to my project in a different way. And he asked me if I could do a cappella vocals for Quarantine. And then I did it. And it was so haunting. Like, the a cappella version is so haunting, guys. Like, it's Whoa. In the studio, I swear, I am not even joking. Like, I cried. Like, I wailed after I sang. Like, I was like, whoa, I don't know what just happened. Like, it was an energy shift. And I was like, this isn't just gonna be a song you perform in Switzerland and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It started out as, let's make a promo video for it, and then it turned into a movie. So that's what happens when you work with Chara. Like, it's supposed to be like a photo shoot for it, and just something to push it further, you know, just to give it life, because we believe that life was given to it when I was on it, you know? And then, boom.
And the short film is really dope. I've seen it. I was in the event.
Dude, I mean,
real what? Real friends.
I don't know about the other guy.
Dude, listen to this guy.
I was there. The other guy wasn't.
Bro,
I don't know where
if
he
they
was.
see you, they see me. So that's it.
Wow.
Shout out.
Yeah, let's take a deep one more time. Just one last time. One last time, I promise. Okay. I just want to know. Okay. So, how would you describe your music to people that don't know you? Like, at some point, in some instances, when I was listening to your music, I'd feel like this is soul, and then feel like this is trap, and then feel like this is funky, but not too funky. So, for you as a creator of that music, because I can't ask anyone else but you, so so how would you, for someone who doesn't really know iindirhe, so how would you describe your music? Or is there's no definition, it's too infinite? Is it those types?
You know, I guess to define my sound, even for me, has been a question that I ask myself, okay? Because especially in the music that you hear right now, I love exploring sound. I'm drawn to the beats that make me feel good. I'm drawn to the words and the feels that make me feel good. Or sometimes I'm just trying something new, you know, I'm like, okay, let me challenge myself. And thus far, that's how my music has been. It's been, that's why I always say alternative. I say alternative R&B because of my approach on all of my songs. Like, I think if there's one truth is that I have a very unique writing style. So it doesn't matter the beat that you give me, you know what I mean? I'm probably gonna kill it. Like, that's the point. But I say alternative R&B and hip hop because I feel like I'm a very strong R&B vocalist, you know what I mean? I approach songs on that mental space and that musical space, you know what I mean? I'm defining R&B for myself as well, because I don't want to just, I'm not trying to sound like, you know, I don't want to mention names, but like I'm trying to sound like me. So I say alternative R&B because it's like, it's R&B, but it's my R&B. You know what I mean? It's the R&B that I hear in my head. And especially as a person who's worked with R&B, so in high school I used to do serenade, so I used to do rearrangements of songs but with people's voices. So like it changed my approach to, like, I would hear things in the song that they didn't sing and I'd be like, that should have been in there, you know what I mean? So it's always, it's my understanding of what R&B should be like, and what new things we should be expressing in R&B, and sometimes that bridges into soul, you know what I mean? Because there's an honesty in it. So it's hard to define, but because it's mine, I just say alternative. And hip hop, you know what I mean? I'm definitely about that hip hop life. Yeah.
Throwing shots.
Yes, them cats. You know your hip hop head if you remember that. Cats.
Good new cats in the street.
Alright, so I hear you bouncing from Joburg.
Bruh.
Why are you trying to do this to me every time?
Leaving Joburg. But I feel like this is good as well. I mean, we did speak about it a bit off air. And you were saying it's just an opportunity for you to like branch out and spread your wings.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, I've also done a lot in Joburg, and I think I'm ready to be in new spaces and also like meet new people. I am leaving Joburg. That is true. That is true. I am moving to Cape Town. I don't know, man. I'm still enjoying myself in Joburg at the moment. I'm trying to be present. I'm being present. I'm working with the people I need to work with. And I'm ready to also spread my wings and just leave. I'm a bit nervous too, you know what I mean? I don't know what peeps is like there, you know? But I know I'm moving with the energy of love and expansion. I'm just really ready to expand myself as a person, as an artist. My mind, you know, even writing out, I've been writing outside of the music space a lot, writing film, you know, directing film, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, there's no limits, you know? What?
No limit,
You know what I mean?
No Limit Podcast.
So that's it, it's me going beyond my limits. I think I've kind of had a bit of a limit here and I'm just like, I'm ready for what's next. Like, I'm fully in, you know what I mean? Yeah.
You just dropped the Backpack Dreams video finally. You and TTP.
Yes.
It's flipping dope.
Thank you. It's very honest, it's very simple. We got the camera and we were like, let's shoot it. It just reminds me of how far I've come. In my journey, and you know, the feedback has been intense. I think a lot of the people that have heard it, actually some people have actually heard it for the first time, even though it's been out for so long. So the video has kind of brought that back. Exactly. And the way people have resonated with it, like the people who already know it were like, oh my gosh, this just reminded me of how much we need you know what I mean, in this space. And then you have other people who are like, yes, I'm the girl with the backpack. And I'm like, yes, you're the girl with the backpack, you know what I mean? And you're the creative with the backpack, you know, you're the person with the backpack, you're the person with the dream. And genuinely that's been special. That's been so, man, like my heart, you know, my heart is filled with genuine love, because it's like these are the reminders. It's like, okay girl, keep going, keep going, just keep going.
You wanna go fast?
No. The thing is, like for me, hearing your name the first time, iindirhe, I was like, what? iindirhe. It's like indie music, but then with the reggae kind of vibe in it.
That's a dope interpretation.
To be honest, the first time I heard the name, I was like, iindirhe. It just makes sense. So I was just wondering, what does it mean and how did you get the name? Like, was it just someone you saw like, oh, indie there and then there's rain, let me just smash it together and that's it?
I wouldn't say that. I would say, okay, so it is kind of like that. Okay, but it's not fully like that. So at the time when I was trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, what kind of music I would make if I were this person, Kid Cudi released a project called iindirhe. So I was like, I'm probably gonna just like, to make it different, I'm gonna add another I, you know what I mean? I, and I want it to be iindirhe. But on like, I felt like the underscore didn't look good. I felt like the full stop didn't look good. So I was just like, okay, it's iindirhe then. It's iindirhe. So my first name is Rema. So that's spelled RHEMA. So I just took the Ray. Yes. Yeah. The spoken word. Yes, it is me. And then I added it there. So that's how iindirhe came
through. Oh, so you're gonna hit us with the hums anytime soon? Like Kid Cudi? Because you're always clean with the hums.
Yo, man. Like he'd be snatching souls with those hums.
So we're waiting maybe like for the new projects, there'll be
iindirhe. Lots of love, lots of just be patient, guys. It'll be worth the wait. I swear Glitter was worth the wait. People were like, yo. And when Glitter came, they were like, yo.
Finally.
So
wait. Actually, speaking of Glitter, is there a name for the upcoming tape?
I don't know if I should
Say,
like,
oh,
you know what I mean?
NDA.
I mean, no limit is about exclusives.
Okay.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so it is Third Eye. That's all. Third Eye.
Sounds like some pro
Third
era.
Eye,
Dude.
Volume 1.
Okay. Definitely some pro era.
Yeah.
I, Joey Bettis, these.
And obviously there's already like volume 2s and 3s coming after that, so
Yeah. Because you can't go volume 1 and
And
then
then just-
abandon the whole
No, don't worry.
trilogy or something.
because it goes higher with the volume 1, 2, 3, so obviously
Hey,
that's a bar for you.
What about that? Okay.
That's a new bar you can use. No mind, don't mind. You can get
Don't
it
worry, I'll
for
credit you. Don't worry, I'll credit you.
free. Yeah.
And then dropping the Backpack Dreams video. Dope reaction to that. Any new music
Video.
from Queen? I mean, yeah, video from
I actually
Queen
shot a
Timo.
video for Lady Late Night. I can't believe you don't know about that. But anyway, I shot a video and a film for Lady Late Night, which is out on YouTube. So
I've seen
your
both.
sis is working hard.
I've seen both.
Okay, so there's 2 videos for Lady Late Night.
It's 2 videos.
There's another one. There is another
I don't
one.
think I know
There's
this
a new
one.
one now.
Yeah. I know the
That's
old
why.
one where it's you.
If
it's
you were
Jaya,
on your
and the whole
Instagram, you would know.
Instagram yatura.
This expensive. Bruh.
No, but I'll check it out.
Please do, please do.
Yeah.
The video that I know, it's the one. It's you, Jaya, and the squad, and them. Squad.
Oh yes, that's
the one that I
that's
know.
the one you know. Yes, that's
Yeah.
that's there. But there's one with an actual like narrative and a setup. Yes.
Alright.
Yes, I don't wanna spoil it for you.
So
I
go
might-
watch. Check it on YouTube.
Uh,
Link
Yeah.
in the description to
Check it on
the
YouTube.
iindirhe channel there.
Yeah.
And while you edit, subscribe to TV, subscribe iindirhe.
Gang, gang.
Gang,
Yeah.
squad and them, it's all in the family.
Yeah. So any artists you wish to work with?
Guys, so many.
Just a few.
I would really like to work with DB.
Man, DB with the projects.
Away TV.
I would really like to work with ASAP Shembe. Ria Blake is another one. I actually have something that I've done with an artist called Lungelo Manzi. That's just, it's a secret at the moment. It's a secret.
Okay.
But we're getting hints. So
I also recently was in the studio with a homie Suave. He's dropping his album in August.
Okay.
Just was a lot. J-Word Audio dropped his project and I was on it. So you actually got some music. You know? You be getting music. So yeah, but yeah, those are the people. Did I say Ria Blake? Yeah. And a Shoma Josie collabo would also be hella. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But in due time.
Oh, we're happy in time.
I think as well, like a collab between you and someone like Mante Ribani would be dope.
I think they challenge me definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
incredible.
I also enjoy Nonkupiri a lot, guys.
Yeah.
She's a whole
fucking
entire
cool.
vibe. Actually, I just got a beat pad, so I'm actually like trying to get there in terms of curating my performances with live music. Or putting it into the universe.
Yes,
Just putting
into
it there,
existence.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, I see. You got anything else to add?
Dude, I'm like checking like the time for the episode, but we can't let the viewers and listeners hanging. So
who can you expect from Third Eye?
Who?
In terms of
Features.
features, producers.
You guys are asking for too much. You're asking for too much. Okay.
Third Eye Volume 1.
Get the hype going for that.
Okay, so expect producers from Glitter. Your boy Skills produced Prom Queen, so you know what he does. Like something. It's something.
Something.
Guys, I don't know.
Okay,
expect J-Word on production.
Okay.
And expect some new producers too. That's all. That's all.
Okay, that's all.
Leave
That's
you
cool.
with. Yeah.
Well, for the guys who are listening and watching, who can see the pretty lady, are the interviews open? Should drop applications, or it's it happens by basis.
Yeah, no. If your vibe is right, it happens. Like whatever. I'm not even there, guys. I'm trying to be a boss at the moment. 'Cause, yeah, like. I'm availably unavailable. Like,
wow.
You know what I mean? So I'm single, but
not really.
Yeah, like I'll probably hang out because I'm a nice person. And for like the free food and like the conversation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, I'm also leaving, so I'm hella busy. And then you just kind of feel like, oh, this girl, who does she think she is? I'm just going away, so I'm busy.
So it's only an opportunity for the guys in Cape Town.
Shout out if you're watching in Cape Town.
Good luck, Capetonians.
Yo, check out the podcast. We are on Spotify, SoundCloud. I almost said LinkedIn. I don't know why.
Wow.
Should I get this way?
I don't know why.
Check out your business profile.
Check out our business profile.
Copano Media.
Yo, on everywhere you stream podcasts, we are
you
there.
find us. We there.
Google Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, No Limit Podcast. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the channel. Here we're dropping dope content. More content that we're going to be doing with iindirhe is coming. We're gone for a bit from the podcast, but we're coming back in like
obviously
a month.
back with the vengeance.
Yeah, for season 2. iindirhe closing it down. What can they find you?
Yeah.
Miss Crump.
How are you exposing me like that? Wow, I trusted you. Anyway, hit me up on Instagram, iindirhe, or Rayma's Universe, my new platform for my thoughts and my knowledge. And then you can hit me up on Twitter at iindirhe. Facebook, please actually like my Facebook page. We're pretty close to 1,000 likes. We're pretty close to 1,000 likes, guys.
Make it 1,000.
You know what I mean? So iindirhe, and how you spell it is iindirhe. Not iindirhe, not India, it's iindirhe. Okay? Cool. Just had to
Yeah.
get that off my chest.
Pause. Like the spelling. Feel like I was very primary.
So please do hit me up. On Facebook, it's iindirhe Music. iindirhe on Instagram, iindirhe on Twitter, iindirhe on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel. SoundCloud, iindirhe, Tumblr, iindirhe. Like,
the music, is it only on SoundCloud, or they can find you on...
No, you can find my music everywhere. It is available on Deezer, Spotify, Apple Music,
Tidal,
I think it is available on Tidal. I don't use Tidal, so...
Yo, get Tidal, let's support black business.
Okay. Let's do that. But yeah, you can get my project on pretty much every streaming platform. Yeah. Except Data File Host. You won't find it on Data File Host, unfortunately.
Go get it, peeps. iindirhe, no underscore, no down score, no under dash, no down dash, nothing. Just iindirhe. Go get the music, listen to the music, and this is the last episode for season 1. Coming back on season 2 with the vengeance. And it's been a run. It's been a run.
Thank you.
21 episodes in.
And we're closing it off with the blast.
Yes, gang.
Yeah. Shout out to the new guys.